I'll go ahead and go first.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say you're experiencing some personnel issues? You're going to be short in some areas, I guess, for this bowl game?
Yeah, we'll be short. We have some guys that aren't playing. We have some guys that declared. We've got some guys that transferred out. So, yeah, we'll have a few spots where we're not as deep. But for the most part, the guys that are playing the game, they've played. We've had guys that have played, so there's not really any areas where guys we're having to fill their position with somebody that hasn't played through the season. But Roger McCreary won't play in the game. We know that. Jacoby McClain is not going to play in this game. Brodarius Ham is not going to play in this game. You guys have seen some of our portal guys. Obviously, Bo is not playing in this game. Sean Shivers, Elijah Cannon, Tayshawn Manning, and Ladarius Tennyson. So those are all guys there, and guys that have played for us. So a few guys have played on special teams. Some guys have started for us. Tayshawn finished the season as a starter. Obviously, Sean contributed. Bo learned his role before he was injured. And then Jacoby, Roger, and Ladarius were all guys that were starters for us and really good players. And all those guys too. There's that opportunity at the next level. But that's just become part of college football at the end of the year, with some bowl games and some guys make decisions not to play for different reasons. And I think that's just, whether you agree with it or not, I think that's become part of college football in the last several years at the end of the year. And we're not the only team. You'll see there's going to be everything in the country that's not going to have guys playing. And they're good players. They can obviously help you win, so you got to have other guys. I think that's one of the best things when you have some time in a bowl is you get some other guys ready. I also think it's a chance for those guys to step up and take advantage of their opportunity in the bowl practices, and then a chance to go play in that game, which most of those guys that will play when they're replacing somebody are going to come back. So that kind of springboards those guys into the off season. And they want to perform well, and you want to see them perform well because you want to win the game. At the end of the season, you want to win. You want to finish with a win. And, you want to play against a really good team. We got that opportunity in this game to do that. And like I said, Houston is very good. Any team that plays for a championship, in my opinion, and wins 11 straight games, that's a very good football team. And they're balanced all the way around. And I'm sure there's going to be a few guys on their team as well that aren't playing in this game for the same reasons.
You talked a little about the offensive line yesterday and trying to test the depth
Sure.
of the game a little bit. What are you looking to see from them in practice leading up, and what are you sort of looking out for in the bowl game?
Yeah, well, a continuation of just our ability to run the football and be physical up front, to give our running backs a chance in the run game, to give our quarterbacks an opportunity in the pass game. And so really it just comes down to playing good football, on the O-line. And you got a couple guys that are not going to be in there. Nick Brahms as well. Nick had surgery on his knee. And so you got guys that have played for us that are really good players from this season that are not going to be out there. So the other guys that are replacing them, to see those guys step up and play, take advantage of their opportunity, and also the guys that have played. We still are improving on what we did this season. We're still trying to make progress on the things that we've been working on this entire year. So those guys that have played, to see those guys through practice keep improving, and then go finish in the game. Hopefully on a high note. Hopefully playing our best football, taking advantage of these extra practices. And I think there's something too about guys that haven't played much that get their opportunity. They're going to be more fresh, but it's also that excitement to go out there and prove yourself on the field. So the guys that are getting a chance to do that, we're looking forward to seeing those guys take advantage of it.
How about health-wise for Troxel and Brandon Council especially, and then TJ Finley too?
Yeah, all those guys are healthy. Yeah, they're getting healthy, and they will be by the bowl game. Troxel and Council, both those guys have been in practice. They look good. TJ Finley is still, he's coming along, but he's much better than what he was. So by the time we play, he's going to be ready to go. But there's a few little things from the season that we're still recovering from, but those guys will be ready to play.
With the transfer portal, how much do you have to do with recruiting your own guys to stay and keeping them as opposed to also looking in the portal? And how do you navigate that, particularly losing a guy like Bo Nix?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that's the question everybody in the country is asking themselves right now. Number one, it starts in the relationships that you build through the recruiting process when you bring guys in, and I think it's an understanding. Here's the expectations and the standards, but also this is what you want to be a part of. You're looking for guys that love Auburn. You're looking for guys that love football, and so and there's going to be adversity. And I think everybody assumes that things are not going to go perfectly, right? And at the end of the day, those are things that guys will make decisions on it. And the way it's set up now, you can leave. You don't have to be a grad transfer and then have a chance to go play somewhere else. You can leave and be eligible, and that's really changed the game. So along with your high school and junior college recruiting, now you have really this opportunity for players in college now to make decisions on whether they're going to go into the portal or decide they want to go play somewhere else. To me, it's I think it's a fine line as not just as a player. I think anytime you're trying to be great at something, you got to be where your feet are. You got to really focus on, hey, this is my plan. This is the progress that I'm looking to make. These are the things that I know I'm going to have to do, and you're going to go through some rough patches. We all know that. I think that's the one thing, because once you get on the other side of it, you earned it. And when you earn something, we all know it's much more valuable to you than just having it handed to you. And so I think, right now, we're just in the time where I think that's got to be extremely important to the players on the team. I think their teammates have to be extremely important to them as well. I think there are opportunities, and it's free agency, and so there's opportunities to leave and go other places and all that. But guys will stay. I think you'll be surprised. There's a lot of guys, as much as it may look like players want to pick up and leave, all over the place. There's a lot of guys that are committed to their teammates, to the program, to their development, to making where they are the very best it can be. And you see that. So to me, it's you want to create an environment where everybody there can do their best work, and they enjoy it, and they want to come back, and they want to be a part of it, and they see the vision, and they're willing to do their end of things to make it work. And that to me is that's just really that's what we're creating right now, is just what are the best environments to be a part of. And that's what you want. You want those players that want to be a part of that. The guys that we signed, the 16 signees, they want to come be a part of Auburn. They want to come in and they want to help build our football program. They want to come in here and develop themselves and go to school at Auburn and live in Auburn. And so, those are the things that when you have that type of commitment from anybody in your program, you have a chance to do some great things. And I think too, when things get hard, you got to have that support to know that you can push through this, and you can continue to develop, and you will come out on the other side better. And if not, there's opportunities for you. But I believe in development. I believe in people that are committed, and I believe that they are, and they want that, and I don't see it any different now. So to answer your question about recruiting your own guys and all that, you're trying to develop your own players. You're trying to help them grow. You're trying to help them with their goals and dreams. And to me, that's what that's all anybody can ask for, is just being a part of something bigger than yourself and have a chance to have somebody believe in you, and then when you get your opportunity, to make it count.
Bryan, talking about what were your conversations like with Bo leading up to his decision? Just what is the challenge going to be of finding the next quarterback, whether it's somebody on your roster or?
Sure. Well, the challenge finding the next quarterback or the next tackle or the next D, it's always the next. And that's the one thing. If you think about it perfectly, you have a quarter of your team leave and a quarter of your team comes in. And then you have everybody that's there as your sophomores and juniors that are continuing to develop. And that's the way it used to be. That's how you develop the team. You know, in a perfect world, you lost 2 guys, you brought in 2 guys. Right? You'd always want to have that set up where it's like, hey, we're going to lose 2 and take 2, lose 2 and take 2. You know, you kind of wanted that cycle. Sometimes you lose 5, and you got to take 5. And so, but you know, Bo, the one thing that I don't want to get lost in this whole thing with Bo is that he graduated from Auburn. You know, there's something to be said for that. I know it's all football driven, but there's something to be said that he has a degree from Auburn. That's one of the big things that sitting in these visits with families. I didn't sit in home with Bo and have those conversations, but it's important to the families that their sons graduate. All right, that's the number one thing that you talk about in those home visits. And the football piece is big, and all the development piece and all the support. You get a chance to talk about that. So, you know, he made a decision, and at the end of the day, he's no longer with our program. And, you know, to be honest with you, I'm going to focus more on the guys we have now and where we're going. And those guys are working. They're the ones going out there every day and putting in the work to prepare for this bowl game. TJ Finley, Demetrius Davis, Grant Loy, Trey Lindsey, Sawyer Pate, those guys that are playing for us right now, I mean, they're the ones that have to be ready to go play quarterback in this bowl game. Holden's coming in, and he'll be here this spring, and we like Holden. Holden won the state championship. I talked about him yesterday. We think he's a good player, and then we'll decide what we do after that. And like any other position, we got to bring in the right guy. So we'll figure out what that looks like. I think we have good players in our team right now, and we're still building our roster. We're not done recruiting. We still have another signing period. You know, recruiting never ends, and that's a good thing. We're trying to bring in the best people in our program, so no different for our quarterback.
Good time for 2 quick ones, about 5 minutes.
Coach, outside of a win, what do you
Outside of the what?
I said outside of a win, what do you want to look back on this game and say, okay, we accomplished this?
Yeah, I want to see us go out there and play 4 quarters of football like we did in our last game with a different result. I really do. I thought our guys, as I had a chance to kind of reflect and look at the Iron Bowl, very proud of our team. You know, they showed up. They played hard. We played against a really good football team, and we didn't get the result that we wanted. You know, we played 4 overtimes in that game, and just the whole attitude of the entire team. I was very proud of those guys. They laid it on the line. Every guy in that game laid it on the line, and so at the end of this game, that's really what I want to see. I just want to see that every guy on this team, whether you're on the sideline waving a towel or on the field out there making the play, you just laying it on the line when we go out there and compete. And we can clean up scheme, we can clean up fundamentals, we can clean up decision making or whatever happens. We can overcome bad calls in games. None of those things really are the main reasons why you win or lose, right, at the end of the game. All right, there's a lot of things that happen in the game. There's a lot of things you can control, but if you go out and play a certain way, I think it gives you a lot better opportunity to overcome some of those things, and we showed that the last time we played. And I want to see our guys go out there and play like that, and then we'll be able to handle whatever comes our way. If we can do that, we can handle what comes our way, and we can put ourselves in a position to be a physical football team and to play 4 quarters like that. And I think our result will be different when we're able to do those things.
Last one.
Bryan, I know you said when you got hired, doing things right versus getting it done right now, but do you have a timeline for when you'd like to have an offensive coordinator in place?
Yeah, same answer. You know, it's really just, this is a chance right now, and the offensive side of the ball is a little bit different because I've been a part of that. And so the quarterback position and coaching that position is different because I've been a part of that as well. And I'm enjoying that. You know, I talked about Coach Reeder. You know, he's doing a great job with those guys right now. He's got those guys dialed into our game plan. Coach Keesaw, Coach Bedell, Coach Friend, Cadillac, all those guys, they all got a piece. And I think that the offense is operating really well within the staff. So that's good to see. Now, I'm a part of that, and with recruiting, it's been busy, but I'll be more of a part of that here moving forward. So the big key to me is really just getting the right person in there. Scheme, how we coach the quarterback. I want somebody in there that knows that. I want somebody in there that's going to be elite at bringing in the best players at that position as well. But I also know it, and I'm more about getting the right person in there to be a part of our staff and to help bring out the best in the coaches in that room as well, and the players on that side of the ball. I think that's important, and so there's a lot of interest. I'll be honest, we talk about an opportunity to be on the staff at Auburn. There's a lot of people that are interested. It's just finding the right one. And so I've had a chance to talk to several, which is good. And it gives me an opportunity to talk to other coaches and have those conversations, get to know them, and see, if that's going to be the right fit. But yeah, I mean, just we all want to get done. Just want to make sure it's right. We got the right fit, the right person, and they're going to come in and help complement that offensive room, and then really bring a lot of value to the staff. A couple more. Yeah, we're good.
Earlier.
You've already asked 3.
Yeah, this process of elimination.
Okay, no
He's
problem.
had his hand raised in the chat.
We're gonna go back to Zoom.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hand raise feature. There you go.
Brian, you're talking about younger guys with bowl practice.
Yeah.
An opportunity. What have you seen this year from D. Davis, even though he
Yeah.
hasn't played? And how big
Yep.
is this little stretch for him?
Yeah, he's getting reps now, which is good. And so here's when you're not in a starting role or backup role, where you're getting majority of the reps. It's hard at quarterback. You come in, you get to throw every so often in one-on-ones. You might get thrown there for a couple plays. So he's had more reps. He's getting into a groove, and we're getting a chance to just see how he can operate. We watched him. We have Sundays where the guys that don't play, the development squad, gets a chance to go out there and run a few plays and still get work during the week. But we're getting a chance to see him get some more reps in there, and that's what bowl practices do. And then we got to really hone into the game plan. But it's good for him. It's good for all those guys. So Tavares Dawson, those guys are getting some reps in there as well. So you get to see some of these guys that just haven't played as much. Garner Langlow, some of these guys, Colby Smith. So they get an opportunity to get out there, and you kind of rotate them in. They get some plays. They get to feel a part of it, and we get a chance to see a little bit more going into this game, but also a little bit more going into spring on really, all right, what needs to be the focus. Because when you come back on January 11th and we have our team meeting and we start school on the 12th, we want to make sure we got a really good plan for these guys to start immediately developing just their skill, and knowing their skill set and knowing where we have to go with that. Okay, one more?
Anyone else? Ryan, did you ask a question?
I have a repeat, yeah. Yeah, I've already asked one.
Remember, we have the 27th. We're going to have a press conference on the 27th. Save some questions for then.
I mean, the two of you, do you guys want to?
We can throw hands if you want to real quick.
Flip going. No, go ahead. You got some.
Sure, thank you.
Here you go.
Better be good. Better be good.
Particularly on the offensive line, you mentioned, and also linebacker. Who are some young guys that are going to get opportunities during bowl practice and possibly the game?
Well, you see Jalil Irvin, and he's played. Colby Smith, you've got a chance to get him some reps. Brendan Coffey, now he's not a young guy, but he's played. He's obviously getting some more opportunities there. Linebacker, you have Chandler Wooten, Wesley Steiner, and that group of linebackers, Cam Riley. So not necessarily anyone that hasn't played, but with Jacoby not being in there, it's good to have Owen out there and getting work. So those guys are all rotating, and right now we're game planning, we're preparing, but we also have a chance to throw some guys in there and let them get reps at what we're running. So it doesn't have to just be the starters. We can let other guys go out there, execute it. Everybody gets a chance to compete in these bowl practices. And when we get to this weekend, we're going to take a few days off. We're going to give guys an early Christmas. They get to go home. They're going to be with their families. We'll come back at the bowl site, and then we'll be here and preparing for the game. But we'll be here through Christmas, and we'll have our normal week of practice. And so they get a little bit of time off, and then we'll come back here. And at that time, you really got to hone in. Here are the guys that are playing. We got to make sure that we're prepared fully for the game. Here's the starters, but you also got to have your backups ready. And some of those guys might end up being more in that backup role because they have chances to practice through bowl practices and get more reps, and you get a chance to see them, and they're doing some good things.
All right, Coach.
Good on that?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.